Buford takes one into right field. It falls. In to score is Brigham. Rounding third is Uher. She is in as well. The Tigers go up 3-0. Throw to second. I think they're going to have a play here. They will. Thrown out at second is Izzy Scott on a great throw from Destiny Pryor. On what has turned out to be a beautiful night for softball at Fort Harris Park on the outskirts of Urbana, Illinois, Urbana Public Television presents Urbana Girls Summer Softball. We are underway. First batter of the game for St. Joseph. Haley Burt lines a single into center field. And in this matchup between St. Joseph and host Urbana, St. Joe quickly with a runner on base. Second pitch of the game is fouled away, so we'll get a chance to tell you that Olivia Baltzel is at the plate. She is the shortstop for St. Joseph. In the circle for Urbana, Abby Brown. And this is taken into left field. Stopping at second base is Haley Bird, and at first base is Baltzel. So 2 quick singles for St. Joseph. Now a break in the action as pitcher Taryn Sexton steps into the batter's box. And she'll take this one to short. Flip to third base is in time. Shortstop Haley Thompson to third baseman Shayla Burks. And now with one out, it'll be Alyssa Acton, the left fielder for St. Joe, with her first plate appearance of the game. And she takes one high into left center field. Knopp ranges over for Urbana. And the Tigers center fielder makes the play. 2 away now in the top of the first inning. So it's Acton looking at the first pitch, ball 1. An F8 for Taryn Sexton for those keeping score at home. And they're going to call that a foul ball, a 1-1 count. And for our viewers watching at home, I'm Joey Wright, joined throughout the evening by Jason Liggett, our executive producer. But for the moment, flying solo, and we thank you for tuning in to this double header of Urbana Girls Summer Softball. More on the second game as we move through the first. The batter is Claire Huffman, the third baseman for St. Joseph. Check over to third base, not in time. Taken into right field, a foul ball. So now an 0-2 count for Claire Huffman. On deck would be the first baseman, Allison Carney. Two runners in scoring position and a ball taken to first base, gloved for the out. Rolling over to make the play was Mackenzie Brigham. And though St. Joseph managed 2 runners in scoring position, they will go down without a whimper here in the top of the first inning. So to the bottom of the first we go. It'll be Destiny Pryor, Abby Brown, and Haley Thompson, the catcher, pitcher, and shortstop for the Tigers, set to go. In the circle for St. Joseph will be Taryn Sexton. Behind the plate, Haley Burt. At first base, Allison Carney. The second baseman is Mallory Sarnecki. At third base is Claire Huffman. The shortstop is Olivia Baltzel. In left field is Alex Ward. In center field is going to be Madison Stevens. And in right field, it will be Abigail Elder for St. Joseph. And again, St. Joseph in the blue camouflage uniforms. Nice digital camo pattern for St. Joe. Urbana, of course, the Tigers are wearing orange and black, white jerseys. As we welcome in Jason Liggett. Jason, Following up a trip from the outfield there, got our camera all ready to go. We welcome you into the broadcast.
Well, thank you very much, Joey. A fast and furious top half of the inning there as St. Joseph's bats were alive, making plenty of contact, but after letting the first two batters on, Urbana's able to get 3 straight outs.
Indeed, it was like a basketball game there for a while. Tough to get a word in as St. Joe was quick to put the ball in play. One more time for St. Joe, it'll be Taryn Sexton on the mound. Destiny Pryor, the catcher for Urbana, set to lead off the bottom half of the first. First pitch of the bottom of the first, high and outside, taken for a ball. And Sexton is in there for strike one. So a 1-1 count. Urbana's pitcher Abby Brown on deck. And this is high and outside, ball 2. So a 2-1 count to Pryor. And she'll swing and miss. Count even now at 2-2.
You can already see Urbana a little bit more patient at the plate than St. Joe was.
As this is taken foul above the third base dugout. And that'll work the pitch count, Jason, as that's now 5 pitches already for St. Joe here in the bottom of the first. 6th one forthcoming. And that's high and outside the count now, full 3-2. So it's Sexton versus Pryor. The full count offering, and Sexton got Pryor to swing and miss at an outside pitch, strike 3, and the Tigers now with 1 away. Good pitch there from Taryn Sexton.
Yeah, she was able to keep that one away from the plate. Certainly didn't want to give Destiny anything too easy to hit after that long at bat, and a battle it was to lead off the game here for the Tigers.
Big early victory for St. Joe as that pitch is to the backstop, ball 1. So now Abby Brown at the plate with Haley Thompson on deck. Brown the pitcher, Thompson the shortstop. Ball 2. Crowd still pulling up to the ballpark here at Ford Harris Park on the outskirts of Urbana, Illinois. Inside for a strike to Thompson. Check that to Brown. One away in the pitch. Swing and a miss. Now Abby Brown down 2 strikes. A pitcher versus pitcher battle here. We will see who comes out on top. We'll have to wait one more pitch to see that, though. Count now full at 3-2. Full count offering is taken. This should stay fair to third base, and it does drop fair. Brown will sit safely at first base. Looked like a miscommunication there between the shortstop and third baseman. Neither made the play.
Yeah, when that was first hit, I thought that was going to be a routine pop-out infield fly there for St. Joe, but neither fielder able to come up with that one, and Brown is safe at first. Getting a little ambitious down there right now as she stutter-stepped that one, but no throw was made.
Well, Coach Harmon got on her a little bit there for not rounding the bag when that ball fell, so not completely surprising to see her a little more aggressive in the wake of that. The batter now is Haley Thompson. Thompson, the shortstop, in her first plate appearance of the game. Third baseman Shayla Burks moves to the on-deck circle for Urbana. And the pitch is high. Brown running. Brown is safe at second as the throw goes into the outfield.
And one thing I noticed last Friday night when we covered a couple games here for the 16 and under Harmon team, there's a lot of stealing of second base. There's a lot of throws to second base and very few throwouts there. In fact, many of them end up just like that ball sailing into the outfield, and depending on who the runner is, they either make it to third on that same play or hold up.
In this case, Brown held up. This is skied to first base. The catch is made, and Brown holds pat at second base. So now it's Shayla Burks, the third baseman for Urbana, with 2 away. Destiny Pryor with the strikeout, and Haley Thompson with the fly out to first. On deck, center fielder Valencia Knopp. And the pitch from Sexton. A low, strike number 1. And Jason, you know, Coach Billy Harmon's teams, even at the high school level, they like to run, they like to steal. He likes that small ball style of play. Swing and a miss from Burks.
Absolutely. Over the years, we've seen a number of runs scored, but not too many of them scored by grand slams or a bunch of solo home runs. But there's a nice shot there.
And the outfielder didn't quite read that properly. Brown will come home to score. Safe at second is Shayla Burks. A well-struck ball, and I think that went further than right fielder Abigail Elder thought it would. Carried a little bit.
I thought that might make them fence and perhaps go over the fence, since I was talking about how they normally don't hit dingers. I thought we were going to see one right there. But a lot of times with these Urbana teams, they don't always have the power to hit home run after home run, but they have become pretty excellent at playing small ball, as you hinted.
Run is a run.
There you go.
Yeah. Center fielder Valencia Knopp now at the plate. Runner in scoring position and 2 outs. And a swinging strike number 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Down 0-2 is Knopp. Here's the pitch. And looked like that caught a piece of the catcher there. And Haley Burt appears to be okay. So an 0-2 count, 2 away. And a swinging strike 3, that'll end the inning. So Urbana pushes a run home in the bottom of the first, and that'll end the first inning with Urbana up 1-0.
Well, Urbana strikes first, and certainly a lot more runs to come from both sides, I suspect, as we've seen so far this season here at Fort Harris. And if that top half of the first inning was any indication, St. Joe can get a hold of the ball. They just have to work on getting everyone around the base, and some timely hitting will be key for them.
Absolutely, as they stranded 2 runners in scoring position in the top of the first, so just getting those runners to pass will be critical moving forward. For St. Joseph here in the bottom half, rather top half of the second inning, it'll be Allison Carney, Madison Stevens, and Mallory Sarnecki, first baseman, center fielder, and second baseman, respectively. And quickly, the defensive alignment for Urbana. We'll get through as much as we can here. Pitcher Abby Brown, catcher Destiny Pryor. This is taken to center fielder Valencia Knopp, and she makes her second catch of the evening. Infield looks like this. It's Shayla Burks at third base. Shortstop is Haley Thompson. Second baseman Sydney Uher. At first base is Mackenzie Brigham. Splitting the duties in left field, Olivia Arroyo and Nazira Reed. As this goes to second base in Sydney Uher, she drops it and it falls. And in right field for the Tigers, Kira Buford and Maddie Byers, of course, the center fielder, Valencia Knopp. Well, not the defensive play you want there at second base, Jason.
No, it wasn't. And, you know, I don't know if that's just a little bit not ready for these first pitch swings, but that's what St. Joe has been delivering. They swing at the first pitch.
That they do.
I wonder as this game progresses if you're Billy Harmer or the Urbana pitcher, you start throwing something that you don't want him to swing at. No one would swing at on the first pitch there because they're pretty aggressive.
Yeah, and, you know, usually you want to throw that first pitch strike, but now I think that you might just want to fire something in there that they either can't hit or they're just going to beat into the ground or something. Batter now is Alex Ward, left fielder for St. Joe, and she takes that one right to the dugout and foul. So Ward with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Swings and misses. Down on strikes she goes. So a quick top of the second inning. Features 4 batters. Carney with a fly out to center. Stevens reached on an error. Mallory Sarnecki popped out to the catcher and a strikeout for Alex Ward. It'll be Abigail Elder, Izzy Scott, and Grace Schmitz for St. Joseph in the top of the third. Crazy that we're already looking at the top of the third in a game that just started about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a fast-paced game.
But
we'll see if either team starts to settle in here at the plate or on the field. St. Joe is fast and furious at the plate, though. We've seen that 2 innings in a row. Urbana took their time in the bottom of the first. I assume they'll kind of take their time here in the bottom of the second, as they tend to do. I can't remember the last time I've seen a team at this level like St. Joe that's just getting up there and swinging away. But it's certainly fun. It's a fun style of softball to watch. We just got to be on our toes here to make sure we call all the action that's happening.
Absolutely. You know, it's easy when they're doing this to get caught looking down at the scorecard or otherwise not paying attention. And I think what makes it even more fun is that Urbana's getting them out. You know, it'd be one thing if St. Joe was just base runner after base runner after base runner and run after run, and, you know. But no, Urbana's making plays and keeping the game moving. We'll see how Urbana responds here. In the bottom of the second is the point we are at now. It's Mackenzie Brigham, Sydney Uher, and Olivia Arroyo for the Tigers. First is Brigham, the first baseman. Umpires discussing something. Something's out in the field, and one of the umpires is going to go grab it. Looks like a stick or something. Yep, I think.
No, I think it was a piece of equipment there.
Piece of equipment? Okay.
Yeah.
Hard to see through the backstop there. And a ball. So Brigham ahead 1-0. Swings and misses at strike number 1.
I think she got a little bit ahead of herself there, started running to first before her swing was over.
And she'll look at that one low, ball 2. On deck is Uher and then Arroyo in left field. Taken off home plate, and that'll be a tough play, and she's safe. Mackenzie Brigham aboard with a single.
Well, good hustle there from McKaysey. A swinging bunt right down the first baseline. Wasn't going to roll foul, and she put the wheels on and made it there before the pitcher for St. Joe could get a play on her.
So that'll bring up Sydney Uher, the second baseman. Bunts this one foul. Burt is there to grab it before it rolls back fair, and the count now 0-1.
Sack bunt opportunity there for Sydney. Had the right idea, just wasn't able to execute.
See if she can drop another one down here, pulls back, and Brigham stays at first. 1-1. Uher will square this one up, but it doesn't leave the batter's box, and it's called foul.
Well, just right there in front of the plate is where you want it. I think both batter and runner would have been safe in that situation had that been just about 3 inches further into the field of play.
A nearly perfect bunt. She'll try to square another one up with 2 outs. Gets it down, and she will be safe at first. Sydney Uher with a great bunt, especially given that there were 2 strikes. And now she's safe at first base, and Brigham safe at second.
Third time's a charm there for Uher.
So that'll bring up Olivia Arroyo, splitting the duties in left field with Nazira Reed, who's on deck, and she'll drop down a pretty good bunt. Out at first, but the runners advance.
So you got runners on second and third now with just 1 out in the bottom of the second. Good opportunity here for Billy Harmon's Tigers to get another run on the board as they already are up 1-0.
And now it'll be the other left fielder, Nazira Reed, with Kira Buford on deck. This is outside ball 1. Inside for a ball. And that'll be in there for a strike. Nice pitch from Sexton. In there for strike 2. So Reed has to battle back here, 2-2. I guess it's an even count. But Sexton still with a slight advantage. The 2-2 offering is swung on and missed. That'll be strike 3. So now the Tigers with 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. We'll see if they can get them home as it's Kira Buford. Buford takes one into right field. It falls. In to score is Brigham. Rounding third is Uher. She is in as well. The Tigers go up 3-0.
2 RBI single there from Buford. I was just about to say that she has the power to drive both those runs in, and you saw it right there.
Absolutely, as Buford batting low in the Tigers' order here. Great production from the bottom of the order. And now to the last batter in the Tigers' order, Maddie Byers, splitting the duties in right field with Buford. Fouls this one away to the first base dugout. Crowd encouraging Maddie Byers here. Byers batting 11th here in the Tigers' order. Tigers batting all their players, though only 9 can, of course, be in the field. That is a rule in the Urbana Summer Softball League that you can bat players that aren't fielding. Ball and 2 strikes for Byers. That'll be a ball. 2-2 count. Destiny Pryor in the top of the Tigers' order on deck. And that'll be outside. Strike 3 and the inning ends. But not before the Tigers push 2 runs across on a single from Kira Buford. And to the top of the third we go. Urbana 3, St. Joseph still scoreless.
So some good offense there from the Tigers in the bottom of the second. They Mackenzie Brigham leading off with a single, and then Uher had that sack bunt that turned into not be a sack bunt as she got aboard safely. And a bunt from Arroyo to advance both of them to second and third, and we had the 2 RBI single from Buford, which plated both the runs to make it a 3-0 ball game at this point.
So 2 innings in the books and 4 more to remark upon. Assuming this game is played, well, no, I guess 5 more to remark upon as we play 7 innings, not 6. And with this age group, 6 for the younger kids, I do believe. But 5 innings to go here, assuming we play them all. All signs would indicate that we will tonight. Strike 1 to Abigail Elder here on what is a beautiful night at Fort Harris Park. Temperatures in the low 70s. Not a cloud in the sky. Well, okay, there are a couple clouds in the sky, but not many.
No chance of rain here tonight, I don't think, Joe. Yeah, I think we're safe as opposed to last Friday when it felt like it could come at any minute.
And it did as soon as we got done. The skies opened up, and you know, we were lucky to get out of here when we did, but it's not the case tonight on a stunning night here on the outskirts of Urbana as Elder swings and misses at strike 3. Elder in right field for St. Joe, and Izzy Scott not in the field but in the order now batting. Grace Schmitz is on deck. Fouled away to the first base dugout. Now, Jason, I believe this is, would this be considered Urbana Township? I'm told by a couple of spectators that it is. So this is taken to second base, and Izzy Scott will remain safe at first base as that trickled past the first base bag. Mackenzie Brigham couldn't quite hold on to it. Fort Harris Park located about halfway between Urbana and Thomasboro. Throw to second. I think they're going to have a play here. They will. Thrown out at second is Izzy Scott on a great throw from Destiny Pryor.
Little hesitation there from Scott, and I think that's what did the trick and got the throw down there. Pryor had plenty of time to throw that one and made a picture-perfect throw and got the out.
So now up is Grace Schmitz with 2 outs. Haley Gaines is on deck. And this is taken right back to the circle and a nice grab from Brown. And that'll end the top of the third.
So Urbana's defense steps up there to start off the third inning. We'll see if their offense can keep the lineup moving here, as they've done in the previous 2 innings. leadoff batter Destiny Pryor set to start off the third, so they're back to the top of the order.
It'll be Pryor, Brown, and Thompson, catcher, pitcher, and shortstop. Sexton still in the circle for St. Joe. Behind the plate again for St. Joe is Haley Burt. And now in the bottom of the third with the Tigers up 3. They will get another chance. Pretty good crowd behind us here on the playground. Some children enjoying the slides, or rather slide and swings.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest crowd we've seen at the playground here so far this season. The best weather we've had.
Oh, by far.
Certainly the reason for that.
And here we go in the bottom of 3. Strike 1. And a game that got going about 5 minutes early, about 5:55. We are now a half an hour in. It's 6:26. And a ball taken outside. And for those of you just joining us, I'm Joey Wright along with Jason Liggett. Ball taken outside. Working the bottom of the third inning, Urbana, after posting a run in the first and 2 in the second, maintain a 3-0 lead. Swinging strike from Pryor. Count now even at 2-2, and if the pattern continues, a run in the first, 2 in the second, Tigers perhaps looking at a 3-run frame here.
I'd be happy with that.
As would I. This is taken into right field. And the catch made in right field by Abigail Elder, 1 away. 1 up, 1 down. Pryor now 0 for 2. Abby Brown, who singled and stole second, later came around to score in the first inning. Her second at-bat forthcoming. Inside, ball 1. Ripped hard down the third base line and foul. Taken between third and short. At first base is Abby Brown. She'll round the back, but decides to stay at first. Now 2 for 2. It's been a great game for Abby Brown, both at the plate and in the circle. So that'll bring up Haley Thompson, the shortstop. 0 for 1, flew out to first base in the first inning. That was the second out of that bottom of the first. Taking second will be Brown, and I don't think that Sexton quite realized that throw was going to second. Gloved it and tried to cut it off before it reached the second base bag. Now it's Thompson.
She was probably wondering why the ball was thrown so hard at her.
Yeah. So Brown at second with one away. Swinging and missing is Thompson. But Brown will advance to third on the passed ball. Oh, a couple of doggies who've rolled up to the ballpark. Both boxers. Swing and a miss from Thompson. Down on strikes she'll go. Perhaps the same dogs that were here last week, I would think, because, well, one of those dogs was here last week. It was a boxer, I think. We don't know for sure that it's the same dog, but I would venture to say that it is. Taken to short. Throw across the diamond. Oh, it was in time, but it was deflected off of the glove of Allison Carney, and the run will come in to score. So Abby Brown in to score, and the Tigers lead increased by 1, now 4-0.
Come on, B. Watch it from the hip. Be ready. You're behind it.
Valencia Knopp now at the plate. Knopp tries to bunt, pulls back, it's a strike, and taking second is Burks. Knopp struck out to end the first inning. Oh for 1. Takes a ball. So a ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the third inning, the Tigers lead 4-0. Foul to the backstop, we'll do it again. So Knopp with 2 strikes. Swings and misses in the dirt. Throw to first is in time. So St. Joe surrenders a run, but otherwise gets out of the inning with the deficit still manageable. It's Urbana 4, St. Joseph still scoreless after 3 innings of play.
Due up for St. Joe for her first at-bat of the evening is Haley Gaines.
It'll be Mackenzie Brigham, Sydney Uher, and Olivia Arroyo for the Tigers in the bottom half of the 4th. And now set and ready to go in the top of the 4th inning. Game that's moving right along. And a thank you to our viewers watching live on Facebook this evening. Urbana Public Television presents Urbana Girls Summer Softball. Live for our 3rd and final night of coverage of the season. Fouled away. So it's Haley Gaines, Haley Burt, and Olivia Baltel. This is Gaines taking the ball outside. Down on strikes goes Gaines and Haley Burt.
Burt 1 for 1 on the evening with a single back in the first. It's her second at bat.
You know, Jason, I need to share our stream on Facebook with my Facebook friends, but I can't think of a caption to share it with. It's my internal conundrum right now.
Is a caption needed?
Apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. Strike from, or strike 2 Burt. And it'll fall. Center field gets past Knopp. Burt chugging along past second. She might have an inside the park home run. It's going to be close, but she's going to get in there. And St. Joseph on the board, 4-1. It was misplayed out there in center field, and Haley Burt capitalized.
Yeah, she really put the wheels on going into second and rounding third. Made it all the way around the bases on that one.
Taken to left, and on a bounce, it's bobbled, and this is a similar setup here, except, well, no, it's a very similar setup as Olivia Baltzell's able to take third base.
So they got 1 out and a runner on third for St. Joe. They already got 1 run in.
Squaring to bunt is pitcher Taryn Sexton. Score now 4-1, and Jason, as you mentioned, runner at third and 1 out. Bunted foul.
And I assume what Sexton's trying to do is try to make it to they're trying to throw her out at first, and the runner comes home to score. So Urbana's got to be aware of that.
Outmade at first, sliding into the plate as Baltzell, she's safe.
So a sac bunt RBI from Sexton. Good effort there from Urbana, and really exactly how you want to play that one if you're the Tigers. Unfortunately, a run still scores.
Yeah, and a risky move from St. Joe there to send Baltzell home after the throw had been made to first, or as the throw to first was being made, but she was able to turn on the jets and bring it home as this gets back to the backstop. The batter is Alyssa Acton.
Well, and if you're St. Joe, you certainly don't want to end this inning with a runner stranded at third base. So they kind of went all or nothing right there, and it paid off for them. They have 2 runs across the plate here in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, and as we've seen here at Fort Harris Park this season, anything can happen. Even with 2 outs, as this is taken to second base. Fortunately for Urbana, nothing else will come to pass. As Acton put one on the ground right at Sydney Uher, flip over to Mackenzie Brigham. And the top of the 4th inning ends just like that. So St. Joe adds 2, but Urbana still in command. Our score, 4-2. Claire Huffman, Allison Carney, Madison Stevens, the 3 we will see for St. Joe in the the top of the 5th inning, but here in the bottom of the 4th for Urbana, Mackenzie Brigham, Sydney Uher, and Olivia Arroyo. So Brigham, Uher, Arroyo, first base, second base, left field is how they shake out defensively. For Mackenzie Brigham, of course, she singled 1 inning ago, or I guess 2 innings ago now. That was in the second. We're now in the fourth. Later came around to score. That was the second run of the game for Urbana. Strike called. Brigham takes this one to short, and the throw is in time. Nice job from Baltel to just roam over there a little bit to her left. Made the play in stride, the throw over to first in plenty of time. And with one away, the batter, Sydney Uher. Uher singled, came around to score her last time up. Swings and misses at strike number 1. Fouled over the first base dugout and out of play. Taken high and out of play also over that first base dugout. Uher with 2 strikes as Arroyo waits on deck. Swung on and fouled right back to the catcher, Burt. And Haley Burt, Jason, has taken a bit of a beating here in this one. She's taken a couple balls off her mask. Looks to be a little shaken up, but flashed a smile to the umpire there, and we will play on. Glad to see that things appear to be okay down there. And foul to the backstop from Uher.
Good battle here from Uher. See if she can straighten things out, get ahead of the pitch on this one.
In the dirt for a ball.
All right, stay ready, stay ready.
2-2 the count. Again, Arroyo waits on deck. Taken foul down the first base line, and the battle will continue. Three and two, full count. As Arroyo waits to hit, followed by Reed. But for now, it's Uher. The full count offering is swung on and missed, and chalk that battle up to Taryn Sexton. Now 2 away, 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the fourth, and that will bring up the left fielder, Olivia Arroyo. Swung on and missed. It's a strike.
Arroyo laid down a sac bunt her first time up back in the second inning.
Nobody on base for her here, though, as this will be in the dirt. Ball 1.
Now she'll be swinging away at this at bat.
In the dirt skips back to the backstop.
So long as she gets a pitch in the zone there, she'll be swinging away. She'll happily take a walk as well.
A couple of low pitches here to start this one. This at-bat. High ball here, so it'll be 3-1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Swinging strike 2, so the count now full with 2 strikes. Well, of course, it's full with 2 strikes, but 2 outs as well. And outside, ball 4, so that'll put Olivia Arroyo on at first as Nazira Reed stands in to hit. Reed struck out in the 2nd inning. So 0 for 1. Kira Buford moves into the on-deck circle as St. Joe will call a meeting here in the circle to talk things over.
Will be our first look at the 16 and under team from Urbana, coached by Warner, later this evening.
That it will, because we've seen Harmon's team now twice this season.
Oh, this will be third time.
Yeah.
Yeah, third game that we're calling.
Doubleheader against Watseka last week.
Tuscola.
Got my rural central Illinois communities mixed up. Watseka's over near, headed towards Decatur, correct? East. Yeah. Okay.
We're going to put a mic on you if you keep talking. That's not what you want? Well, we won't mention your name. Oh, okay.
Well, because, you know, north? Okay.
All right. Well, if you need directions to Watseka, stop by the ballpark here tonight. We've got a fan who can direct you in the right way. Don't listen to Joey, though. That's for sure.
Well, I was going to say, because I've made that trip. I've made that drive to Peoria many times on 74. Never seen a sign for Watseka, so I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't that way. I thought I recalled seeing signage for Watseka on a snowy winter drive to Springfield, which would, take you past and through Decatur on 55.
They're pulling up maps and everything,
Man.
Joey. You've upset the crowd here. I don't know if you're going to make it to the second game tonight.
The Watseka faithful, and I'm sure our comments are just blowing up right now as we, man. But I knew Tuscola was on the way to Charleston last week, so. Oh, man. The batter is Nazira Reed here as we get back to the game. Umpire, a little delay here as he'll trot out to the second base area, but we are back to the action. This is outside ball 1, and the throw to second in time. A great throw from Haley Burt. Catches Olivia Arroyo trying to take second base, and that'll end the 4th inning. Well, Jason, that's exactly what St. Joe needed there. As they try to play catch-up in this one, you can't allow Urbana to build on that lead again after cutting it to 2. We'll go to the 5th inning, score of 4-2. Claire Huffman, Allison Carney, Madison Stevens. The three due up for St. Joe. 3 innings left to play in what has been a quick first leg of this doubleheader. And Urbana's 16 and under Warner team will play this same St. Joe team. So it's a true doubleheader here for St. Joe. Urbana will split it up, and again, we will have coverage of Game 2. It'll be a new stream for our viewers watching on Facebook Live, but you'll be able to find that on UPTV's Facebook page. This is taken to the gap in left center. Claire Huffman is looking for 3, and this is going to be a close play. The throw is in time, and she's in under the tag. Claire Huffman, a risky call to try and get 3 there, but she makes it pay off. And that'll bring up Allison Carney, the first baseman for St. Joe. High and outside, ball 1.
Well, very well hit ball there from Huffman and gave her plenty of time to make it to third, but still a close play at third over there.
High into left field, and it'll fall. Easily will play to run for St. Joe. And Allison Carney has a loud RBI double. So Madison Stevens now takes one to short. It'll get into left field. Not quite deep enough to score a run, or perhaps hit too hard. Anyway, runners at the corners here for St. Joe. And this is taken to short. Into the outfield it will trickle. Runners will hold at first and second.
Got a tie ball game now.
That we do, just like that. St. Joe held quiet for the first couple innings, but now with Madison Stevens at second and Mallory Sarnecki at first base, Alex Ward at the plate, we've got a tie game. And a courtesy runner will enter at second base. That will be Alyssa Acton, a left fielder in to run for Madison Stevens. Fouled away towards first, and I believe, that I was mistaken now. I think that Haley will hold that thought.
That first foul ball there would have been a huge first out for Urbana if they were able to come up with that one, but hit just a little bit too high for first baseman to come up with it. So still no out here.
To third, there's one out, and that will be all Urbana tries for. So thrown out at third base is Acton. By no fault of her own, I should add. And Alex Ward at first base on the fielder's choice. Right back to the backstop and foul. So Abigail Elder, the right fielder, now in. And that is caught by Pryor, 2 away.
Big second out there from Urbana.
Indeed. Izzy Scott now the batter. And remember the go-ahead run for St. Joe at second base. Oh, we've got safe at first base. That ball was hit to second. And Jason, I think the easy play there would have been to tag the second base bag instead of the throw in over to first. And in safely was Izzy Scott. Grace Schmitz lines out to second, though, and that will end the inning.
So a little bit of the miscue in the field there by throwing it over to first rather than stepping on second base. Doesn't matter one way or the other, as a line out from Schmitz ends the inning. St. Joe leaves two stranded. Excuse me, three stranded. Bases loaded right there.
Yep.
But they do tie it up. It's a 4-4 ball game. Headed to the bottom of the fifth.
New game for Urbana here down in the bottom of the fifth. So as we pass the hour mark, this game has now lasted 60 minutes. Got going just a little bit early, about 5:55. And has moved along at a pretty good pace here as we now work the bottom of the fifth. For a while, Jason, St. Joe was just swing after swing after swing, contact, contact, contact. That was the storyline as they moved. Reed takes strike one.
That they did early on in the ball game, and they've settled in a little bit here as the innings have progressed. Very healthy crowd at this point, Joey. Largest crowd that we've been a part of this season so far. It's what you get kind of late one game as the second crowd starts to arrive. Full bleachers. Nowhere to set up your lawn chair.
Yeah, I counted before the game, and as the game was starting, there were 4 of us, including you and I, in the bleachers, and now more than 4 of us is.
That's what quick math does for you, huh?
Yeah, I didn't. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So nearly tripled our pot. But yeah, I mean, it is crowded here. Not a very big set of bleachers at Fort Harris. So
yeah, and certainly there's most individuals seem to bring their lawn chairs and sit outside the bleacher zone.
yeah, great crowd down, especially down the first base line. St. Joe always travels well.
Reed draws the walk there, and Kira Buford up to the plate. She had a big first at bat back in the second.
Swing and a miss, Jason. That was our first walk of the game for either side. Pretty impressive here as we work the bottom of the fifth.
All right, come on now. You've seen it.
Our second walk.
Yep, no walks issued by by Urbana, but Arroyo I have walking back in the fourth.
So Kira Buford is safe at first. And Maddie Byers with 2 on, nobody out. Byers takes an inside, ball 1.
Bring that bat just like that, man.
1-0. Taken foul down the first base line.
Just like that.
1-1. In the dirt, ball 2, 2-1. Perfect strike there from Sexton.
All right, be ready now.
Actually, it's now Madison Stevens in the circle for St. Joe. And I will concede an apology there because Stevens has been on the mound now for some time. And I don't believe that I recognize that change when it was made. So it's Stevens on the mound.
Good, how are you?
And behind the plate is Baltzel. And now it looks like we may have another pitching change here with the bases loaded. And it'll be Alyssa Acton pitching to Olivia Baltzel. Big situation here for Urbana. They could break it open with the bases loaded and nobody out. A key moment in the game forthcoming.
Alyssa Acton started this game in left field for St. Joe. Will now find herself in the circle in the middle of the bottom of the fifth here.
And this is taken into left field. Urbana will score one run. I think they'll be able to score two here as Buford now comes home to score. The Tigers back up 6-4. Destiny Pryor with a 2 RBI single.
Some peculiar base running there from the Tigers, but they get 2 across the plate nonetheless.
Yeah, there was initially some confusion there as Buford held up at second. Luckily, her teammates were able to remind her that she needed to go there. Bases loaded situation. She wound up scoring along with Nazira Reed. Abby Brown at the plate. Takes ball one. Brown with 2 singles and 2 runs thus far. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Brown down on strikes now, 2 for 3.
So yeah, so he's actually with Bradley for 1 year, and then he's back for the summer.
He's helping out.
Yep.
He's got to be graduated by now.
Yeah.
Haley Thompson, the shortstop for Urbana. Takes one well into right center field. It will fall. Should be deep enough if Urbana wants to test it. But everyone will hold up. And the base is now loaded for Shayla Burks.
Well, 1 out here. I think Coach Harmon wants to keep the line moving as he held up the runner on third. It's a big inning for the Tigers. They want to add as many runs as they can here.
Back to the circle. The throw to the plate is wide. And now some confusion. The throw to third not in time. Pryor back safely. In to score is Byers. No. Was it a liner there to first, Jason? What was the... Because Burks has walked to the dugout. And Coach Harmon will have a word with the umpire. Well, now Burks will come back in and run at third.
So you got 2 out here. 3 runs have come across the plate to score this inning for Urbana. Runners on second and third.
And it's Valencia Canop. To third base. Throw across the diamond will be in time. Allison Carney held onto it at first base, and that will end the 5th inning. So to the 6th we go. Urbana ahead 7-4.
And it looks like we're going to have time to perhaps get all 7 innings in here before the hour and 45-minute mark of the game. But depending on how this 6th inning goes and how fast it goes, if you're Urbana, you'd prefer that at least the top half of the 6th inning go pretty quick. They're up by 3 here. But it's been a little bit of a back-and-forth ball game to this point.
Hour and 45-minute time limit in effect. But only 7:06, and if Urbana holds the lead, only an inning and a half left to play. I would think that we get all 7 innings in, or all 6.5. Well, before we came on the air, Zion Williamson had no team. Now, he's a New Orleans Pelican.
All right, I forgot all about the draft. Get busy at work. I got busy at work today, and I forgot that's what was happening this evening.
Not much intrigue with the #1 pick. Most people knew, Zion to New Orleans a foregone conclusion, but...
Well, I saw where New Orleans gave up their #4 pick, which was the Lakers pick originally, traded that to the Hawks for 4 first-round picks in the future, or 4 picks in the future.
Yep.
Yeah.
The 8th pick, the 17th, I think it was the 8th pick, the 17th pick. I thought there was a 2nd-round pick included as well this year. I don't know. I was in the car, and of course I don't...
Well, new GM in New Orleans putting in some work early on here in his tenure.
Haley Gaines the plate. Fouled away. And I've never been to New Orleans, but I've heard it's just a cool town. So good to see them finally have some sort of direction and plan for that franchise.
I went there for the first time last September.
Throw to first, not in time. Tough throw when you're looking at that situation with a grounder to third, and St. Joe emerged victorious on that one. So Gaines is safe at first. Now 1 for 2. And this is taken to left field and caught. No throw to first as Gaines gets back in time.
So Baltzell pops out there.
Baltzell through the gap into the
This
outfield.
is Sexton.
This is Sexton.
Baltzell just popped out.
Yep. Sexton safe at first, and that'll bring up Acton. Acton with a ball well struck to left field. That'll be trouble. Throw gets to short in time. We may have a play at the plate. We do, and the ball is dropped. And St. Joe looked at two. Sexton rounded third base, decides against trying for the play.
So the game now within 2. It's a 7-5 ball game with runners on second and third for St. Joe. Just one out here in the top half of the 6th.
First pitch to Huffman. Low for a ball. And that's also a ball. Up the middle, and that'll score a run for St. Joe. It'll score 2. We're tied. And safe at second is Huffman.
Well, I mentioned it being a back-and-forth battle, and this inning no different. As soon as Urbana secures a little bit of a lead, St. Joe gets the offense going and brings it right back within, well, not within just reaching distance. It's a tie ball game now. 7's all.
Yeah. Fouled away behind us.
Almost got a car there.
Did. Luckily fell short.
We don't always see this many cars parked up this close to the ball field here at Fort Harris, but we do tonight.
Hardly room to park anywhere else.
Yeah, as we mentioned, quite a few people out here on this nice summer evening.
No play. Tigers couldn't decide where they wanted to go with that, and now we'll have runners at the corners. That'll bring up Madison Stevens. Stevens, who pitched a good portion of this game for St. Joseph. Takes this one high and foul, out of play as it kicks off the first base dugout.
Stevens reached first on an E4 back in the 2nd and had a single last inning in the 5th. Dangerous situation here for the Tigers.
Absolutely.
With runners at the corners and just one out.
To second. Both runners are safe, and St. Joseph has the lead as Claire Huffman comes in to score. Carney to second, and Stevens safe at first. Now Mallory Sarnecki, St. Joe's second baseman, up. And she pops one back to the pitcher. Can of corn fielded for the out. Well, there's one out the Tigers needed, unfortunately, just a little too late as they've gone down 8-7, working the top of the 6th inning. Alex Ward, the left fielder for St. Joe, is in. And she looks at a ball, 1-0. Foul down the first base line.
The lights coming on here at Forward Harris. We know that as there's a unplanned siren every time they come on, if you will.
Well, you know, I thought this was the longest day of the year in terms of daylight. 20th of June.
You're correct, right? First official day of summer.
Yes. I did not know that. Can never.
Well, you were quick to agree with me.
It sounded
I'm going
right.
to try that
Yeah.
every day now.
What a month, June. I was born in June. 29th.
I did not know that. You think I would? I'm sure I just forgot it. I knew it at some point.
Ward at first. We talked about it last week on the broadcast.
You just assume that I listen to you all the time.
Man. Also, 1 year ago today, we adopted our cat.
We were covering a game that night. That's probably why you remember that.
We were. We were out here. It was.
You were anxious to get home. I remember that.
Especially because the games I don't recall being that good that night. So, well, I mean,
Joey calls them like he sees them here. So, St. Joe scores 4, and they now lead for the first time in this ball game. It's 8-7, and we're headed to the bottom of the 6th.
It was Alex Ward down on strikes. So the Tigers now need runs. Down 8-7. .717. We should have enough time to get this one through to the end, especially if the Tigers can score 2 runs this inning and close things down in the 7th. Jared Culver to the Timberwolves at number 6 overall. I like that pick. Culver, the Texas Tech Red Raider.
Mackenzie Brigham up to bat first for Urbana. Brigham 1 for 2 on the evening, singled in the 2nd and grounded out back in the 4th.
Brigham with Uher and Arroyo to follow. As controversy breaks out around us. In the dirt ball, too. Three balls and a strike. And if the Tigers, Brigham can get aboard with a walk here, that'd be big. Strike 2. Get aboard anyhow to lead the inning off. Tigers would want that. Strike 3. She will not get aboard to lead off the inning. She will return to the dugout as Sydney Uher steps up. Uher 1 for 2, struck out in the fourth, singled in the second. Strike one, 1-1. Remember, Uher, when she did strike out in the fourth inning, that at-bat was marked by a pretty intense battle. St. Joe won, but that was an at-bat that took quite a few pitches to have its outcome decided.
Uher made some good contact there. See if she can straighten that out, get ahead of this ball.
Swing and a miss. Third strike was dropped, thrown over to first, and now Uher, her second strikeout of the game. So that'll bring up Olivia Arroyo. 0 for 1, also had a sac bunt in the second inning. Swings and misses a hearty cut. Proves fruitless. Oh, 1. The 0-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Fouled away.
All right, keep battling now. You got it.
No balls, 2 strikes. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fouled off the first base dugout.
All right, you're swinging. You're swinging. Now you're a hitter. Let's do it.
Fouled into a tree behind us. Falls harmlessly to the ground.
Keep battling. Keep battling. Come on, Olivia. Keep connecting with that ball.
Count even at 2-2. Now full with 2 outs. On deck would be Nazira Reed. And in there for strike 3.
Three up, 3 down for Acton and St. Joe. 3 straight strikeouts to end the 6th inning. And we're headed to the 7th with St. Joe up by 1, 8-7.
Well, the Tigers need to hope for 3 quick outs and then 2 runs to follow in the bottom half of the 7th frame of play. So Izzy Scott, Grace Schmitz, and Haley Gaines. First pitch to Scott, throw to first and dropped, in time but dropped. And she will be safe to lead off the inning. Good bunt.
Well, good bunt, or good fielding by Urbana, but not able to come away with the out there, so leadoff hitter on for St. Joe.
Bunted foul. High for a ball. Throw to second is, again, in time, but off the glove. Off the glove of Thompson.
Tigers might be getting ahead of themselves a little bit in the field this inning so far, trying to place tags and call outs before they have the ball in their glove.
Grace Schmitz fouled that one into a tree.
Had some debris fall, some sticks falling.
Yeah.
Come on, you're ready. You got this.
High for a ball. Count full.
Stay with them now. Come on. Come on, D. Let me see some defense.
No outs. Outside ball 4. So Schmitz will take her base. That'll put runners at first and second for Haley Gaines. And though Gaines batting 13th in this St. Joe order, singled in the 6th inning. The 5th inning, I should say. So
And that
capable
one
hitter.
just out of the reach of Destiny Pryor.
I mean, if you're not, that's fine.
You know, I think, I don't know where I.
Scorecard getting a little sloppy.
Yeah, you know, and I seem to have gotten an inning. At some point, I was an inning off. Oh, and that'll fall. We might have a play? No, there will be no play at the plate, as in to score is Izzy Scott, and Haley Gaines has driven in a run.
Yeah, Urbana electing to throw that one to second rather than home plate, so an insurance run tacked on there for St. Joe. It's a 9-7 ball game.
Gaines with the RBI single, now Haley Burt.
Come on, D.
And Burt looks at ball number 1. Ball at the plate, out at third base. Thrown out is Grace Schmitz. Destiny Pryor with a fire over to third in the out. Still at first base is Gaines. Pitch to Burt outside.
St. Joe coach over there was hoping she slid underneath the tag, but checked at home plate, and it was, in fact, out.
And Urbana will call a meeting here at home plate, or in the circle as the umpire brushes off home plate.
Sexton up to the plate for St. Joe.
Try for a ball to Sexton.
Ready? Come on, Abby.
To third. Throw is in time. Out is Gaines.
St. Joe with some pretty aggressive base running here in the 7th and not paying off the last couple of times round.
Destiny Pryor with some great throws to third. Into the outfield, and this will score a run for St. Joe. So it's Acton now at the plate. And Urbana with the intentional walk. And, well, as we have a grounder to second, this will get into the outfield. Coming around to score is Terrence Sexton. So that'll give St. Joe an 11-7 lead with the batter now, Claire Huffman. Huffman, the third baseman for St. Joseph. Takes ball one down low. Check over to third, not in time.
Come on. Get her out. Get him out.
Taken, it'll fall in front of shortstop there, Thompson.
And this game getting out of reach for Urbana here in the top of the 7th as St. Joe adds on to their lead. It's now 5 runs. It's a 12-7 ball game.
Well, and unfortunate as Urbana controlled most of this one here. This is taken into the outfield and 13-7, our score. Could have a play here at the plate. The throw is high and wide. Carney in to score. And now doubled up the Tigers as it's 14-7. Swing and a miss from Sarnecki. Well, a little unfortunate here that it's gotten out of hand for Urbana. You know, I mentioned they controlled most of the game. They'll get the third out there. Damage controlled here at 7. So 7, the magic number for the Tigers to tie it up, 8 to win it as we approach the bottom of the 7th inning and our final half inning of play. Because should the Tigers score 7, we would almost certainly have passed the time limit for starting a new inning.
Very true. Time to put on your rally cap, Joe.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I didn't wear a hat to the ballpark this evening. But in spirit.
Nazira Reed going to lead off this inning for Urbana. Buford on deck and Byers in the hole.
Reed takes ball one. Reed walked in the 5th inning. Takes a strike there.
All right, you see it now. You seen it now.
And a ball there.
All right, stay ready, stay ready.
Reed swings and misses, strike 2. So the count runs full for the leadoff batter of the bottom of the 7th.
All right now. All right, show me what you
Reed
got.
draws the walk.
Come on.
And it's Kira Buford, set to stand in after St. Joe calls a meeting.
So the leadoff hitter gets on via walk for Urbana. It's a good start. St. Joe wants to talk things over as far as what they're going to do defensively here. And I think the first 2 innings of play took about 10 minutes, and these last 2 innings are going to take about 45, it feels like.
That's what it seems like.
All right, little quicker, little quicker.
Plenty of daylight left, I should point out. The second game should be played mostly under natural lighting.
Come on, Kira, watch it from her hip. Be ready.
Foul to the first base dugout.
Good cut, good cut.
A ball and 2 strikes. Plays it first, and Buford is out. Advancing to second base is Reed. St. Joe could have probably tried the double play there. Looked like they would have had an out at second base.
Sometimes easier to say at top of the bleachers, and when you're out there at the field, you're probably going for the easy out there, especially with a 7-run lead.
Come on, Libby.
Swing and a miss. The batter is Matty Byers. Strike to Byers. Ball and 2 strikes. Tigers now with a runner in scoring position. Swing and a miss. Down goes Byers. Back to the top of the order and Destiny Pryor.
Come on, Des. Justin, nobody stop you in front of you.
Foul ball, she got it twice. Crowd rises to its feet here as Urbana down to its final out. Swing and a miss, strike 2 to Pryor.
Come on. Relax. You got this. You got this. Just relax and swing.
It was in the dirt and a ball.
I think Reed could have taken third had she wanted to there. The pitcher and catcher both focused on the batter.
2-2 count. On deck would be Abby Brown. Pryor 1 for 3 in this one. In the dirt.
All right, Griffin.
And safe at third is Reed. Ball 4, Pryor aboard at first base. So runners at the corners, 2 outs, and a 7-run deficit for Abby Brown.
All right, come on, Abby.
In the dirt, ball 1.
Let's go, Abby. Meet the ball.
Wonder how much time they'll give between games.
They tend to start that second game as soon as they can after the first game. So
Let's go, Abby. Meet the ball.
Ball a little low. Now 2-1. And a 2-2 count.
With confidence. Come on. Come on, you got it.
Brown looks at ball 3, so the count now full with 2 outs. Runner at third and a runner at second. Pryor at second and Reed at third. Ball 4 in the dirt, so Abby Brown will take first base. The base is loaded for Urbana with Haley Thompson, the shortstop, set to stand in.
Put one out there. Bring somebody home.
And with the bases loaded here, even though there are 2 outs and the Tigers face a 7-run deficit, anything is possible. Safe at first base is Brown. Thompson patiently watches. Strike 1, count now even, 1's apiece.
All right, you're seeing it now.
2 outs in the pitch. In the dirt. And Baltel did a good job of knocking it down. Kept it in front of her, 2-1. So 2-1 now, the count. Outside strike number 2. Safe at first is Brown. Game rests on this at-bat and potential ones to follow it. 2-2 with 2 outs. Swing, chop to first base. Easy play. And Kearney takes it to the bag, and that'll end the game. Urbana falls 14-7. Big win for St. Joe. Jason, your final thoughts?
well, and the game was much closer than the final score tells, as Urbana led most of this one. Unable to get it done as they gave up 4 runs in the 6th, followed by 6 runs in the 7th inning. And just a tough go at it for the Tigers this evening. Hopefully they'll bounce back in their next game, as they tend to do from time to time.
Absolutely. So that'll do it for our first game at Ford Harris Park tonight. Final score, St. Joseph 14, Urbana 7. Our next game will begin, I would say, in about 10 minutes or so. You can catch it live on Facebook on Urbana Public Television. For Jason Liggett, I'm Joey Ryan. We hope to see you back here for Game 2 in just a few moments.